the meeting to order at 6:00, and if I can have everybody stand and we'll recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Yep, that's okay. Alright, Miss Candy, can you do a roll call, please?
Trustee Bass.
Present.
Trustee Bosker.
Here.
Trustee Byler.
Here.
Trustee Manning.
Here.
Trustee Mercer.
Excuse.
Thank you. Board Chair Miskowitz.
Here.
Vice Chair Oldenburg.
Here.
And Trustee Ramsey.
Here.
We have a quorum, thank you.
Miss Candy, can you hand that to Miss Candy? Next on the agenda is public comment. At this time, we will open the meeting to public comment. This portion of the meeting is an opportunity for members of the public to comment on matters within the jurisdiction of the board. Please note that the board will not take action on any items brought forward during public comment this evening. When recognized, please state your name and stand for the camera. And we ask that all comments remain respectful and relevant. We will limit the comments to 3 minutes per speaker to ensure everyone has the opportunity to be heard. And nothing tonight can be personal, it has to be public matters. So, any public comment at this time? Can you state your name for the record?
I'm Elizabeth Lloyd. I'm a trustee from the Trout Creek School Board. And I saw that on the agenda that there's the bi-district
Yes, ma'am.
transportation agreement, and I would like to have some time to speak about the tri-district bus
Yes.
agreement.
Can
Do you want me to wait for that
Yes,
agenda
ma'am.
item, or here?
Because it's on the agenda, I'll have you guys speak when we come to that on the agenda, and it'll be part of the record.
Fair enough, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Alright, moving on to item 3, election canvas of votes. I had mine different. We will now move to the dedication of trustees elected by acclamation based on the numbers of candidates filled equal or less of the numbers of open positions. No election was required. In accordance to district policy, the board will formally declare those candidates elected by acclamation. Is there any questions or comments regarding this item? Okay. So now all I need is a motion to hand it over to Miss Elisa, right?
I would say a motion to certify, and then we can proceed.
Okay. I need a motion to certify the election by acclamation.
I make a motion to certify the election by acclamation.
Second.
Okay. Public discussion? Board discussion? Okay, all yours, Miss Lisa.
Is the board gonna vote first, or do you want me to do this?
Oh, do we have to vote on it?
There's a motion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
Let's do a show of
I don't care how we do
Yes.
it, I just wanna
Show
make
of
sure we
hands.
go.
show of hands.
and for the record, we're, the election by acclamation is electing Mr. William Bass and Mr. Eric Oldenburg for our election. Okay, now it's yours.
Okay, so can I have, Mr. Bass and Mr. Oldenburg stand up, please? And raise your right hand, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
I will support, protect, and defend
I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Montana,
and the Constitution of the State of Montana,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my
with
office
fidelity, so help me God.
with fidelity, so help me God.
Thank you for your service. All right, so Chair Miskowitz, you need to sign the top line. Please don't sign on there.
Sweet. Yes, get number 4.
Mr. Oldenburg, you're gonna sign this line right here.
Thank you.
Mr. Bass.
Sign right there.
Do you need a pen?
I
couldn't do that again.
Not me.
You're welcome.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I couldn't have done that again if I tried.
I enjoyed the sound though.
Thank you.
That's all I heard of it.
Thank you. Okay, so we're moving on to number 5 because we just did the oath of office. So. Okay. So now we're reorganizing of the board. The next item is, in accordance to policy, the board will elect a chair and vice chair.
Motion to have you,
Oh, hold on. We have A and B, so I need a motion for item 5A, elect the chair, chairman. I will now open, oh yeah, so do we need a motion for I open?
Not yet, now it's just not.
I was gonna say, this one always confuses me and we always rush like the gun
Do
really
you,
fast with
do
this
you
one.
have your script?
I do.
Yep, so just follow it, I think you're good.
Okay, it says I will now open nominations for board chair.
I nominate you, Amber, for board chair.
Okay, is there any other nominations? Okay, so. It says, seeing there is no other nominations, now it is closed. All in favor of electing Amber Miskowitz as board chair? Miss Tammy, did you do the, see the hand vote?
Okay, so you're ready for a vote.
Motion. Sure. Can we do a voice vote, please?
Absolutely. Trustee Bass,
Aye.
trustee Bosker,
Yes.
trustee Byler,
Aye.
trustee Manny.
Aye.
Board chair Miskowitz.
I sustain.
Thank you. Vice chair Oldenburg.
Aye.
And trustee Ramsey.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you.
Okay, moving on to item 5B, elect the vice chair. I will now open nominations for vice chair.
I nominate Art Oldenburg.
Is there anybody else? Okay. All in, we are no further, seeing no further nominations. All in favor of electing Eric Oldenburg as the vice chairman. Miss Tammy, can I get a voice vote on that one?
Absolutely. Trustee Bass,
Aye.
trustee Bosker,
Yes.
trustee Byler,
Aye.
trustee Manning.
Aye.
Board chair Miskowitz.
Aye.
Vice chair Oldenburg.
Aye.
Trustee Ramsey.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you.
Alright, moving on to item 6, appoint and hire Miss Tammy Mercer as our district clerk. So at this time, I need a motion.
I make a motion that we appoint and hire Tammy Mercer.
I second.
Public discussion. Board discussion. Just to let everybody know, this is in accordance with policy 1400 and policy 1230.
So we elect her every year.
Yes, it's a yearly position, we have to appoint her to her position. And then she has to take if she agrees and we agree, she has to take an oath.
I think Mrs. Mercer is doing an incredible job and we are very fortunate to have her and, I guess I'll keep it that simple.
I
She's
second.
getting rare.
There's a reason.
She
for
don't
that.
mind all my calls.
No, I do not.
Alright, Miss Tammy, can we get a voice roll call vote, please?
Trustee Bass.
Aye.
Trustee Bosker.
Yes.
Trustee Byler.
Yes.
Trustee Manning.
Yes.
Board Chair Miskowitz.
Aye.
Vice Chair Oldenburg.
Aye.
And Trustee Ramsey.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, and then we're gonna take a minute for Miss Tammy to do her oath.
Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
I will support, protect, and defend
I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
Montana,
the Constitution of the State of Montana,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity, so help me God.
with fidelity, so help me God.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
Right.
Okay. So we're
I'll
gonna
pass
do
it.
the board chance.
These lines are really tiny, so just try and sign your name as best as you can on the line that says your name.
I got another one, I just won't use my purple pen, that would be bad. Okay, while everybody is signing that, I'm gonna move on to item 7, formally open the trustee seats. Can I do you guys wanna do the A and B together, so open the Trout Creek Noxon seat and the Noxon Heron seat?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we do it that way with,
Cause we're just opening them, we're not voting on them, so yeah. So can I get a motion to formally open the trustee seats in accordance to Knoxon policy 1111?
I make a motion that we open the trustee seats in accordance to policy 111.
I'll second.
Okay. Public discussion? Board
Just a
discussion?
quick question.
Yes, sir.
The Heron,
Okay, one second, can
sorry,
you,
my name is Robert Johnson, I'm Trout Creek resident.
Okay.
The question I have is dealing with the, Heron position.
yes, sir.
Is Heron part of your middle school, elementary school district?
Yes.
Then how can you have an extra position for that?
We have a seat of 9 people on our board. We have a seat that is for Trout Creek and Knoxon. Mr. Mercer was sitting in it previous, and
Knoxon
so now
Heron.
we, huh?
Knox and Heron.
Yeah, Knoxon here.
Again, my question stems with, is for the high school,
Mm-hmm.
and the extension to the high school is in Trout Creek, correct?
Yes, that's for the Trout Creek Knoxon seat.
So, okay, so you have an open vacant seat.
We have 2 open vacant seats. We have 1 for Trout Creek Knoxon district, and then 1 seat for the Knoxon Heron.
So the one, Trout Creek one is a high school only position,
Correct.
and the other one is a standard position for your regular board.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. That
Sure.
clarifies.
Board discussion. Ms. Tammy, can we do a voice vote?
Absolutely. Trustee Bass.
Aye.
Trustee Bosker.
Yes.
Trustee Byler.
Aye.
Trustee Manning.
Aye.
Board Chair Miskowitz.
Aye.
Vice Chair Oldenburg.
Aye.
And Trustee Ramsey.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 8, reports. This is for information only, the next items on the agenda. These reports are provided to keep the board informed. No formal action will be taken on these items tonight. And if you have any questions about these items, please feel free to reach out to Mr. Ramsey via email or call him. The board chair is up first. So the discussions tonight is, in the highlight, I would like to highlight board policy 1240, duties of individual trustees, specifically, and individual trustees do not act independent on behalf of the district and the board staff. They're only bound through official board action. During negotiations and official district matters, communication should go through the superintendent in accordance to board policy. Also, discussions and highlights of board policy 1511, code of ethics of school board members include working with other board members to establish policies while delegating administration to the superintendent, recognizing and respectfully responsibilities properly delegated to the superintendent, communicating with public concerns and reactions through the superintendent. Avoid inappropriate individual actions or comments that could compromise the board or administration. Also like to highlight Board Policy 1520, staff and board communications. All official communications or reports to the board must be submitted through the superintendent. All official board communications, directive and policies to staff must also go through the superintendent. If a staff member believes that they need to address the board directly, it must be done through official procedures and channels. And please feel free to also, if a staff member or a community member feels that they are not getting what they need, direct them to our superintendent or board policy 1700. Remember that the Knoxon School District 100-year celebration is scheduled May the 23rd at the park, correct? It's Centennial Park. Any board members interested in helping with this event is encouraged to coordinate with Mr. Ramsey. I also, me and Miss Hammy today made the books that were at your guys' seat that has the current CBA and the current board policy all up to date on there as well, and next year's school calendar. So if anybody asks you guys, we will be adding the student staff handbook and curriculum guide and the master schedule later on in the summer so that you guys will have quick access to those as well.
Thank you.
So, anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Oldenburg?
I think so.
Okay, Mr. Havens,
Yes, ma'am.
you're up.
Matt Havens, athletic director. Seasons are starting to wind down. Junior high track ended a week and a half ago. Baseball still got 2 home games. It's coming up Saturday and next Thursday, senior night for baseball. Softball has been, I believe, are going to be home for a day. Then next weekend they're going away. Track is at districts and divisionals. That's in Missoula, and then their state track is in Laurel. Scheduling for next year is pretty much all taken care of except for some junior high stuff. And of course, spring sports will get a little bit later. But yeah, all in all, it's been a great year. And if you ever need me, reach out to me, email me, call me. We'll get you the next year's, some of the next year's stuff is already set. Of course, most of it is, but yeah, it's kind of a closing out, kind of this calming feeling because we've shifted already. There's been a couple teams that are not going to have football teams next year, so we're already looking for games to fill in games. They know that they're not going to have football. So. And a couple of those games we're going to be both home. So we're going to be looking for games to play.
Can we play Clarkport?
No, because they're 8-man.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can't do 6 and 8. Junior high you can because that's not under MHSA's rule, but you cannot have MHSA. We could play them if we were 8-man or if they were 6-man.
Yeah.
That's why, or in the years to come, if we decide to go that way, you know, could be co-op there too. Years from now, but who knows?
How many kids you got going to districts and high school track?
13.
13. Okay, Student Council, Mr. Finn is not here with us, but when is their elections?
I believe that elementary is going to do speeches this Thursday, and high school, I believe, is early next week.
Sweet. Mr. Duffy is graduating, so he obviously won't be on our student council next year.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Ramsey, superintendent and principal report.
Okay. So, as I stated at the beginning of the year, one of my goals as superintendent has been to increase and improve community connections with our school. I want to see our school become a true community hub. I want to see Knoxon become the pride of our community. You can't do that without people picking up opportunities to do that and move forward with it. And I want to highlight some of the things that have occurred recently and will continue and will happen shortly that highlight this goal. First, our Staff Appreciation Week. Several groups were participated in staff appreciation. There was a PTO, administration, the school board, and even individual community members provided food and drinks and shirts and gift cards and lots of things. Things were very appreciated by our staff. In particular, the dinner bags from the board were quite a hit. In particular, from Mr. Bart Hafley, he wanted me to express to you his thanks and appreciation for the dinner and the hot cold bag. We have our 100-year reunion coming up, May 23rd at the Knoxon Centennial Park from 4 to 8:30. So far, we've received over 90 RSVPs, including one from a graduate from 1950 who will be here. We're reaching out also to current and former Knoxon staff, inviting them to attend. I'd like to specifically invite all board members to attend as well. There will be food and water, there's banners, decorations, there will be a historical display, group photo will be taken, class photos will be taken, and there will be a reunion book where alumni can put in their favorite memories. And this is all a huge thank you to Louise Chandler for really spearheading this and making the contacts and getting volunteers and making it happen. Our BPA students returned from nationals today. I don't have details of how they performed, but I do want to highlight the amount of fundraising that they did in order to get there. I believe that they raised over $20,000 to make that trip happen to nationals. But I will provide more details on their performance at nationals in our June meeting. For our district and state music festivals, our music program did very well at districts. There was a required school large group evaluations where our band earned a superior rating for both the prepared performance and the sight reading test. Our choir earned a superior rating in the prepared performance and an excellent rating in the sight reading test. Our solo ensemble performers, these students have to be both academically eligible and receive a superior rating in order to advance to state. Our vocal jazz earned an excellent rating. Band jazz earned an excellent rating. The duet earned an excellent rating. And we had 2 solos. One earned a superior and one an excellent. If we want to know how they did at the state performance, you have to come to the concert on Thursday night. Those results will be announced then. Archery this year. Our archery season started in September. The coaches spent 2 weeks teaching grades 4 through 12 archery in their PE classes, and then practices moved to after school. They consistently had 13 archers for the season and competed in multiple tournaments throughout the region. At the regional bullseye shoot, we had 1 student place 3rd. At the regional 3D shoot, we had 1 person place 2nd. At the state bullseye shoot, we had 1 place in 10th, 1 6th place, 2 in 3rd place, 1 in 2nd place. And a state 3D shoot had 1 place 9th, 1 8th, 2 in 7th place, 1 in 4th place, and 1 in 2nd place. This allowed 7 students to be able to qualify to go to nationals in archery in Utah. Of those that went to nationals, 5 out of those shot their personal best score. And when they go to nationals, this is nationwide. There's thousands of archers there, so none of ours placed, but 5 of them scored their personal best. From Taylor Atine, the archery coach, she says, one of the out of all the archers this season, they've improved so much. They set the bar high for themselves to beat their personal best scores. There were many tears when they didn't shoot what they knew they were capable of. The joy of archery is that even though we're a team, it's an individual sport. The archers are competing against themselves to improve their abilities and accuracy. I want to take a second to thank the school and community for all their support, whether it be in sponsorships, helping purchase additional equipment, supporting our archers at the spring pep rally, and donations of equipment, and for us to build a successful team. The archers genuinely felt the love this year. Thank you for allowing Noxon Archer to be part of the school. Some recent events, we had our car show. It used to be a yearly event for several years. It was canceled during COVID, and until this year it had not been brought back. Due to the work primarily of our student council president, Finn Duffy, it was started up again. We had 60 cars, lots of community members. Participants were provided lunch by the school, and I personally heard a lot of very, very positive comments. Students and staff loved seeing the cars, interacting with their owners, and I just want to put a huge thank you out there to both Finn Duffy, our student council president, and former Noxon administrator Rick Ravert for their efforts to make this event a success, and we look forward to continuing it in the coming years. We had our first family literacy night on April 29th. We had about 40 people attend, both students and adults. The kids were engaged in literacy activities while adults viewed the documentary Sentenced. This was part of our community engagement component of the Montana Reads Grant. During this, I also announced our plans for a community reading mentor program that we're planning on implementing next year. That program will involve pairing up a reading mentor with one student. The idea is to have mentors meet weekly with one student throughout the school year, establishing a relationship between that student and that mentor in an effort to strengthen student literacy skills. Mentors will have to go through background checks and receive some training to be paired up with a student. But this is another way to strengthen that community school relationship, and is another step toward making Noxon a true community hub. On to some academic updates. Montana has released the updated ESSA public report cards. That's the Every Student Succeeds Act. They're currently released for review to schools prior to public release. So I'm currently reviewing our district and school level reports, including updated accountability designations. The report cards will be released publicly on May 15th. The data for these reports is reflected from the 2024-2025 school year. So that's where the data for these reports came from. And I'll provide the board with a more complete report and analysis at our June meeting after the public release. More immediate though, our FastBridge testing has shown some growth this year. FastBridge is our internal testing program that we administer to students in grades K through 12 in reading and math. So it's a separate test than the state math test. And we've seen some growth in both reading and math just this year, with both a 5% increase in reading from fall to spring and a 6% increase in math. So we're still currently hovering around the 50th percentile, but it's encouraging that we're beginning to see some growth. So this is going to be a focus area for us in 2026, 27. For our Montana Reads Grant, we are required to submit an end-of-year report to OPI. Our literacy leadership team will be doing that on May 27th. So we're currently working collaboratively on that report. What we'll include in that report is information on our literacy goals and progress, instructional practices, professional development, our coaching support, our family engagement efforts, yearly childhood literacy activities, student data, and the use of grant funds to support implementation. So because this is our first year with the Montana Reads Grant, much of our work has been focused on building systems, strengthening Tier 1 instruction. Tier 1 instruction is the kind of instruction that every student receives. And laying the foundation for a more comprehensive science of reading implementation beginning in 2026-27 school year. And once that report is finalized and submitted to OPI, I'll provide the board with a more detailed summary in June. Then moving on into next year, we have some things to look forward to and some things that we have to say goodbye to. We've had 2 staff resignations this year, our 5th grade teacher, Madeline Bear, and kitchen manager, Christina Summers. That elementary position has been filled, and the kitchen manager position is posted, and we're seeking qualified people for that kitchen manager position over the coming months. I want to thank both Madeline and Christina for being part of our team and wish them the best in their next endeavors. I have a card from Christina that I'd like to read, if that's all right. So this is from Christina. Knoxon School family, after 9 years here, I just want to say thank you. I don't know why I do this. I want to say thank you to all the staff, administration, and school board for all the support, kindness, and memories along the way. This was always more than just a job. It became, somebody make me laugh.
I cried for 4 days, my dog died.
It became a second family and a place that truly felt like home. There's something special about being part of a student's day, even in the simple moments serving food. The laughs, watching them grow up year after year. Best memories that will live in my heart. I am really a softie at heart. Somebody make me laugh. Okay.
Kick him in the shin.
Yeah. I'm deeply grateful for the friendships, kindness, teamwork, and memories. I will always carry them with me and will forever appreciate the opportunity to have served this community. Thank you for making my time here so unforgettable. I will miss you all more than you know. Love, Christine.
It's very sweet.
Don't let the students know I'm actually very soft.
We will not. And we will miss her so much.
For
Yes,
sure.
we will.
Handbook. Over the summer, I'll be working on staff, student handbooks, and a curriculum guide for 2026-27. And I'll present those to you prior to the start of the year. On June 26th, I'll attend the annual WMAS, it's Western Montana Association of School Superintendents, meeting where Kellaba Law will provide a legal update. So as part of that meeting, I'll receive templates for those handbooks aligned to those legal updates. Just completed the policy book for you, and then I'll go to that meeting and get updates. Thankfully, we haven't been in a legislative session this year, so there shouldn't be too many policy updates. Also, as we go into next year, as you might be aware, next school year will be the final year of our current negotiated agreement with the Knoxon Education Association. So over the summer, we'll begin preparing for negotiations in the coming school year with an initial focus on board preparation, review of the current agreement, and discussion of district goals and priorities. I want to encourage each trustee to take some time between now and fall to review the current collective bargaining agreement so that we can begin the process with a shared understanding of its existing language and structure. Because the Montana legislative session begins in January 2027, we'll also be monitoring potential impacts on school funding as we consider the timing and overall approach to negotiations. But for now, the best way to prepare, whether a trustee ultimately serves on the negotiation team or not, is to become familiar with the current collective bargaining agreement. Alright, and I also just wanna talk real quick about bus routes and how they're formed and whatnot. I don't know the level of familiarity you all have with that. This is covered under policy 8110, which says in part, the superintendent's designee is responsible for scheduling bus transportation, including determination of routes and bus stops. Each such routes are subject to approval of the county transportation committee. The purpose of bus scheduling and routing is to achieve maximum service with a minimum fleet of buses consistent with providing safe and reasonable equal service to all bus students. So the primary determining factor in setting bus routes and stops is student safety. So we'll look at our enrollment, where in the district students live, identify if routes need to be extended or shortened or altered, and determine the safest location for a bus to stop and or turn around. Those routes are approved by our school board before the county transportation committee meeting. That meeting is typically in June, or excuse me, that meeting is typically in July or early August. So we'll need to have our bus routes approved in June. Then those routes are presented to the county transportation committee for county approval. And that's what I have for my report.
What policy was that again?
That is 8110.
Thank you.
You bet.
I should have said something earlier. One observation from the elementary concert, I was very impressed with Mrs. MacArthur creative way to bring the literacy message into that concert.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing.
It was.
She did a really good job.
She's
I
also
liked-
really good at rapping.
I like that she incorporated that literacy component. I think it's a reflection of how our staff is really beginning to buy into the Montana Reads grant and the importance of student literacy.
I think it was one of the best.
Alright, moving on to item 9, consent agenda. Can I please get a motion to approve consent agenda item 9A through 9C?
I make a motion to approve consent agenda A through C.
Second.
Public discussion? Board discussion? You guys have any questions?
I just make a request, can we get the minutes themselves linked to 9A in the future?
Yes.
It should be.
No, the video
is
link is
linked.
the only one this time.
Okay,
I sent out the agenda and then the minutes got linked.
okay, but what's on the website,
Yeah, what's
The
on the
minutes are
website
linked.
has the minutes linked on it.
yes.
Oh, good, okay,
Yep, it is, cause I'm on there right now following along.
perfect, thank you.
Do you
Just
want a
wanna
bigger
double check.
screen, Carter? I have my,
I'm good.
okay. I do have a question. What is Harlow's Ranch Bison Company? I know it was for family literacy, but what was that?
With Family Literacy Night, we also incorporated Indian Ed for All, and the cuisine that was served was based on Native American
Okay.
dishes. And so it was bison roast
Oh, sweet. Okay.
for the dinner.
Cool.
And they
And we-
incorporated all the information, pemmican and different salads and
And we incorporated the learning for the Indian education for all in there too.
Okay.
It was delicious, if you,
I was unable to make it. I was kind of bummed that I was unable. Ladies, do you want this?
She's trying to get the Wi-Fi.
Okay. And also I see that we did the K-9, unit again. Do you think, how many, times do we do that a year?
4,
And do you think it's still a good thing to do?
yes.
Why did they break it into 300 and 100 this time for charges? Is it-
For the canine?
Yeah, like normally it's 400, so it's the same amount, but it says 300 and then 100. Is that
Was
just,
it for prom this time? Oh, okay.
is that
No,
just-
it was
Oh.
broke between high school and elementary
Yeah.
fund.
Okay,
So
that's what I kind of thought. I just figured I'd ask.
portion of junior high funding and
Right.
portion of high school funding.
And what is the Pennyworth Company LLC? I hadn't seen that in the past, so.
That is part of the family literacy night, and that's like all the literacy program bags up there that families can check out and take home.
Okay. Sweet. Any further discussion? Ms. Tammy, can we do a voice vote?
Trustee Bass,
Aye.
trustee Bosker,
Yes.
trustee Byler,
Aye.
trustee Manning,
Aye.
board chair Miskowitz,
Aye.
vice chair Oldenburg,
Aye.
trustee Ramsey,
Aye.
motion carries.
Okay, moving on to item 9D. Can I get a motion to approve elementary claims and payroll warrants?
I make a motion to approve elementary claims and payroll warrants.
I second.
Public discussion? Board discussion? Ms. Tammy, can we do a voice vote with Trout Creek sustaining?
Trustee Bass,
Aye.
trustee Bosker,
Yes.
trustee Manning,
Aye.
and vice chair Oldenburg.
Aye.
The Trout Creek trustees abstaining. Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item 10, discussions. These items on the board are for discussions and directions only. No formal action will be taken at this time unless properly noticed. So item B is an action, but item A is no action. So can I get a motion to open discussions?
Can I make a motion to open discussions, please?
Can I get a second?
I second.
Public discussion? Board discussion? Or actually, I guess I gotta tell you guys about it first before we discuss, right? So, item A is 8th grade and high school graduation. Everybody knows the dates and the times, and you guys have talked to Mr. Ramsey and got it all worked out of who's gonna be there and everything.
What's the dates and the times?
8th grade graduation, May 26th at 6:30. High school graduation, May 24th at noon.
And
And
I had committed to going to high school
Okay.
on the 24th, right? Yeah.
How many of us need to be there?
It would be wonderful if the entire board came.
I'll be on my.
But if you're unable to, as many as possible.
So
I said I could be there for both or one, whichever one you'd like.
I'll be there, probably high school for sure.
I will not be able to make the Tuesday one, unfortunately, but I will be at the high school one.
Okay. And B is scheduling a special board meeting for the roof bid opening. This is an action item. The next is to schedule the special board meeting for roof bid only. As a reminder, the purpose of this meeting will be to open and review bids only. No determination of a winning bid will be made at that time. This allows the board time to evaluate bids for
Responsibility.
Yeah, responsiveness and responsibility, but
Okay. It just threw me for a loop. Responsibilities before awarding the decision. So at this time, we will open, the week that Mr. Ramsey we have discussed was the 25th through the 29th. I have heard back from some of the board. Mr. Bass is open the 26th after the morning, because you'll be back from vacation. Miss Kyra has asked that we do it if we could possibly from 4 o'clock, because she has baseball games. Annie is open to any day. Miss Vanessa's open any day, correct? Other than high school, or graduation, right?
Well, graduation and the 28th, I'm not
Okay.
available.
Okay,
Fine.
so
Great.
since I have all of you guys here, we need to schedule that date so that we can make a announcement to the public that that's the day that we're gonna open the bids.
What's the official closing date on bids?
That's where, we'll determine that on the 13th at the pre-bid meeting.
Oh, so it has
So
not
that's
been
when,
set yet.
that's when it's not been set yet. We need to set the, bid opening meeting so that we can tell the bidders when the bid closing date is.
So we haven't even sent out the pack, the
No, it's
pre-bid
been,
packet
it's
yet?
been advertised and the packets have been sent.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Okay, and then we'll have the pre-bid meeting, at that
on
meeting
this-
we'll establish.
This Wednesday is the
Closing
pre-bid
date.
meeting.
At 9:30
Mhm.
on Wednesday.
At 10 o'clock for the bidders.
Okay.
The engineer will be here at 9:30. And that's the day that the bidders will be able to get up on the roof, look around, see the project. They'll go away from that, write up their bids, and then have them in before the bid opening day.
So we have to have the bid opening day, and so that also we can get it notified to the public so that it's noticed well within the 48 hours of that.
So what about Wednesday, the 27th, if graduation's the 26th?
Looks good to me.
And that one, we can do 6.
Okay.
Oh, awesome. That would be good.
Jim, are you still in Ohio then?
I'm gonna be gone 7 days.
Well, I don't know when you're leaving.
The 16th.
Okay.
You should be done.
Yeah, I'll be
You'll be
back.
back by this one.
Okay.
So
So
best
are you
special-
good on 6 on the 27th? Miss Erin? Annie?
Okay.
Okay.
What time did you say?
We're at 6 p.m. on the 27th for bid opening. And Mr. Oldenburg will be running that meeting for you guys. Are you excited?
Yep.
Shook your head no and said yes. Okay, so can I, since we did a motion on that, to set that, can I please get a voice vote, Ms. Hannon?
Sure. Trustee Bass?
Aye.
Trustee Foster?
Yes.
Trustee Byler? Trustee Manning?
Aye.
Board Chair Miskowitz?
Aye.
Vice Chair Oldenburg?
Aye.
Trustee Ramsey?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Moving on to old item 11. Old business, still no action on there, so moving on to item 12, new business. A, consider approval to side-by-side consulting contract amendment for 25-26.
I make a motion to consider approval for side-by-side counseling contract.
A second?
Public discussion? Okay. The floor is yours, Mr. Ramsey.
Well, I was hoping that side by side would get us both the contract amendment and the contract for 26-27 before today. I've not seen it yet from them. I would encourage us to table these.
Okay.
But I do want to tell you, the contract amendment is due to one of our consultants was scheduled for 3 days. She was only able to be here for 1 due to inclement weather, and we had no power in the building. And so that contract amendment will be for a reduction in the 25-26 contract.
So Ms. Hammond, can we get an amendment to table item 13A and B?
Noted.
Do you need a vote? Or just a
No,
show of
table.
hands?
You don't need a
No,
vote
no.
to
Okay.
not to table.
Alright, moving on to item C. Consider approval of opening negotiations with Harlow School Bus Services. This is in accordance to Knoxon policies 1240, 1511, 1520, 1332, and also is applicable to Montana law 20-3-324 and 20-10-105. Can I please get a motion?
I make a motion to consider approval of opening negotiations with Harlow School Bus Service.
A second.
Public discussion? Mr. Ramsey? Henry, the floor yours.
We've been working with Harlow's Bus Service for a while. We've done some comparisons with other bus services, Moshers and Thompson Falls and Riviera and Plains. Did it die?
Peter went to sleep.
He's been
Of
quiet
course,
all
right when
day.
we hit Harlow's.
Yes.
Just as we get to it,
Good.
Saying the battery's low.
uh-oh.
Plug it straight into the wall.
You wanna pause for a moment while I get that?
Yep. We'll take a 5-minute break.
I can open my laptop up.
I'm gonna call the board back into session at 6:56.
Okay.
All
Okay.
yours, Mr. Ramsey.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. So we've done comparisons with other transportation providers in that area, and Harlow's is quite competitive. In fact, Moshers is we found at $6.80 per mile. Riviera is $6.76 per mile, and Harlow's is proposing $6.46 per mile. So there's a cost savings.
Sounds like Megatron with
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get off the call and come back on. It's got me on here twice.
Just hit the
Oh,
mute.
it's got me on there twice. Okay.
I can pull them up on Teams if you
No,
want.
I just have to get one off of there.
It's my favorite.
It's great to work.
It's got you on there twice.
Hopefully we didn't kick off the wrong one.
No, I got it. Okay,
That's good then, thanks.
that's better. That's fixed.
Yeah. but
Thank you.
Okay. So, I'm recommending that we go with Harlow.
Okay, and everybody got to read the proposed that Mr. Francis gave us last month.
Yes.
And he also did not propose any changes in the current contract. Everybody read that? Okay, do you guys have any further discussions?
I do.
Okay,
So I'm not going to abstain from this vote, but I just wanna say, I ran that garage for 5 years, and there was a mechanic out there most of the time. It's been 6.5, 7 months, there's not a mechanic out there. We should have somebody, a mechanic on call when something happens, and we haven't had one since I left the bus garage. So that's my biggest thing, and the other thing is when we have 5 route contract. During COVID, we lost a route, or we gained a route, but if you lose a route, you still pay for that route. And I think there should be some adjustment in there. When I still was in the garage before I left, me and Josh and Jacob had a thing where like 56 didn't go for a day or two, they would prorate it to a lower fee, so we're not paying all this money out. That's my thing. I think we're paying, there's routes that don't need to be run daily, and we're paying for a route that don't, even if it don't get run, we pay for it. And that 5-year bus route, if something would happen, we're paying for that 5th route no matter what. We shouldn't be held to that. I mean, there should be leeway in that. And I fought for it when I was out there.
Actually, you read the verbiage in the proposal, they are dropping that 6th route.
We
It is based off of 5 routes.
I know, but I'm just saying, if we would go to 4 for some odd reason, we still have to pay for 5.
Yeah, so as far as my understanding on that is because the total price is calculated off of total cost per year. And there is, say, like there's a school cancellation, and you know this from having, there is a 25% off for that day. As for the routes that are being run, I don't know the details through OPI, but I believe that you would also have to go to OPI and say that route was canceled through the day, which means you also need to repurchase that day. So there are some stipulations that you have to look at in the fine print there. And as far as the mechanical cost, whenever there's an issue with a bus, I actually, I've been,
Well, I'm just saying,
like
with
James did, I've been coming down because what happened is our technician had a head injury. And I've been coming down and, from 2018 to 2021, I was an international certified, master tech.
But when I was out there and I would get my work done with Lee, even Mr. Andrews said he wants, when them routes are being run, he wants somebody here that can go rescue. And that's not happening right now. You have a dispatcher there. That's it.
We have a dispatcher there that is
She
working on
don't,
getting
she
her
don't go
CDL right
run
now.
rescue or nothing.
Yep, she is able to go and rescue in Route West 62. That was why we got that one up to code, was so that she could go and rescue. She, even though she isn't a CDL driver, she can drive the 14-passenger bus. She just can't drive it with students on the bus, which means that in order to have students on the bus, then then the driver takes over on bus 62, is able to take them back. The school's still able to claim reimbursement for the route. We just can't have her on there, and if the bus breaks down, then we tow it back to the shop, and myself or the technician from Libby comes over and repairs the bus, or in like the case with Lucas's bus, we had it taken over to Libby, and we repaired it over there. So, yeah.
If I could add just a couple things there. So there have been quite a few changes, Mr. Byler, since you left your employment with Harlow's. With our dispatcher joining us, she is working on getting her CDL and training to be able to be a driver as well, so that we do have a backup. In efforts to reduce cost, we do have the assets that are in Libby, and with Travis and his team keeping those equipment up and going, and that way when we do need a spare bus, they are ready to go. The buses should be there, and we're trying to cut back on some of that cost. In this proposal, we also put in a replacement bus in year 2, and another one, I believe it's in year 5, if I'm not mistaken. I could bring that back up again. No, year 2 and year 3 of the contract. We're looking at replacement buses to refresh the fleet there. So with those in, I also reduced the miles. I believe there were some miles that were over on there, and we reduced those to bring those back into line. The thing that we're looking at, and I know I gave the proposal at the last meeting for us to look at, but it's the significant increase in insurance and assets are really what's driving it. We did give monetary increases to the drivers for retention. But when you look at Harlow's and where we are at today and in the region, there has been a number of changes. The first thing is we've brought in more assets. From one of our sister companies, we brought in some assets and distributed them throughout Montana to give additional buses and upgrading the fleet, getting newer units. We currently have driver trainers in all locations, and in the process right now, we had 2 certified state examiners within our employment. Both of those examiners are no longer with the company, but those positions are still available with the state. So we are currently training to have our own examiners so that we don't have to take drivers and run them to the bigger cities and stuff to get their CDLs. We can actually do it on site. So that's a pretty exciting thing for us to be able to do that and bring the examiner to the driver versus the other. And then our new safety program, our Victor school bus safety program, I can't tell you what that's done for us as a whole. We've incorporated technologies into our buses with dash cams and AI assisted to where it plays the metrics and really tells us what we need to focus on for safety with our drivers and training. We've seen a significant increase in good behaviors behind the wheel and a reduction just because our drivers get complacent, you know, just as any of us do, myself included. When you run the same routes, the same place, there's times a person gets home and goes, I can't even remember the drive. You drive it, but you can't really remember passing a building. And it takes that kind of out of it and brings the awareness back to the driver. But we truly believe every bus that we have in our company will have dash cams in them with technology that's behind that program. Overall, the value that it's brought is huge. And the school bus safety program is not a program that was purchased and incorporated into the school bus network. It is a school bus network driven program. It's designed around school buses and what school bus drivers have to do, from being, you know, attentive to understanding, dealing with the students that are on there, with the management of that, as well as the requirements of driving the bus and what to pay attention with pre-trip, post-trip, and driving habits. All good stuff. But we've incorporated all that in there, and that's kind of part of what this proposal has included into it.
Any questions that you guys have for Mr. Francis or Mr. Travis?
And just as another thing, like I have personal attachment to Knoxon. I love the community. I was here. A lot of you guys might even remember I was here from 2014 to 2016. Me personally, I don't like to let things get to a point. I try to stay ahead of it, and that's me personally. Me as the manager of Libby, Sandpoint, and Knoxon, I have not even shied away from coming down and doing a lot of the maintenance myself, because that's the kind of pride that I take in the operation that I oversee. Technically, I could send a technician down here, but I'm trying to keep them focused where they need to be, and therefore I'm trying to pick up the slack. It's one of those things where I don't allow something like a technician being out with a head injury to impact whether or not our buses run. Another thing that I feel is worth note is we were handed when I came in, there was a bus that had been down with a bad transmission. Jimmy, you remember it? And then the turf guy was working on transmission, and the turbo went out, and Harlow's was good enough to get us a bus like within a week, so that we weren't down buses, so that we had adequate spares to be able to roll with it. You know, and on top of that, we went from a bus that had no auto chains to a bus that had auto chains. Even if it wasn't new, Harlow's also has the network to be able to facilitate things like that. It is a benefit for you, or it is a benefit especially for situations like ours.
So what about the smaller activity bus, when it's used because there's not a whole lot of people to take, so that they're not a huge cost, cost on it?
So the overall cost of everything, as far as like the little 24 passenger, it wasn't getting used enough to justify keeping it here. So you had the passenger, which you guys lease for a set rate. That's that bus number 62. You guys are also able to send drivers, your own drivers with that one, and get an even lower rate. If it comes with one of our drivers, then you pay the activity rate. The activity rate was the same for that little 24 passenger as it was for taking a yellow school bus. So like I said, we didn't use the 24 passenger enough to justify having 3 dedicated activity buses. So in the end, keeping all 3 of those activity buses here actually raises the overall cost of operation, which means that would raise your rate. So being able to send that one over actually helps you guys out in the long run. So, yeah. Does that make sense? I can answer, and I'm sure Francis can answer better than I can, because I don't get to see the numbers, I'm just going off previous knowledge, so, yeah.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
He was asking about the short activity bus that we reallocated elsewhere, just to try and, because we couldn't justify the cost of having 3 dedicated activity buses.
You bet.
Well, I was comparing the cost of 14 kids on a huge bus versus using a small bus.
Yeah, so like you guys have the ability to use that 62. Matter of fact, that was one thing, like you still have it in your contract where you keep that bus 62. And that, like I said, the majority of the cost falls on the fact that we provide the driver. Because as you guys well know, payroll is a big expense. And therefore, if something goes out, even if it's in that 14 passenger bus, then it goes out at activity rate. Whereas if you guys have a teacher that's willing to drive, then it goes out at the leased vehicle rate, which is significantly lower, because we don't have the driver costs. So, yep.
Mr. Oldenburg has a question.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's probably for Mr. Ramsey, just to clarify, so we made a motion to enter negotiations. The goal here tonight to make a motion to approve moving forward with the contract, or are we gonna negotiate and then at next month's meeting, we will have a contract to vote on?
So we voted to, made a motion to enter into negotiations, so the way that motion was
Yes.
Yes.
stated, it would be enter into negotiations.
Yes, because per policy, you have to make a motion to enter into negotiations to be able to discuss negotiations with both parties. So that's what we did to enter this in. If we want to amend the motion to sign the contract that we were given.
That proposal.
Well, that's not a contract, so we don't have a contract in front of us.
So, if you guys want to make a motion to proceed as presented, then we can apply the proposal into the contract, because like I said, all other verbiage within the contract, they want to keep the same. If you guys want to make that proposal, then we can have a contract with the proposal added to the existing verbiage of the contract for your next award meeting. Does that sound right, Francis?
Yeah, and if you're looking at a contract, let me just go over a couple more things in the proposal, just for everybody's benefit. So when we looked at the increase is mostly put on home to school routes and not on the activities, just for reimbursement for purposes for the district. So we tried to keep the rates down because there's very little reimbursement when it comes to activities. That's part of it. And then when we looked at the annual increases over the 5 years, we're looking at only the CPI, or up to 6%. So if CPI, let's say they came out and said it was a 7% increase, you're only gonna get 6. So if CPI was at 3.2, then you're only gonna get 3.2. So we're trying to keep it lower in the off years.
If that's your intent, we need to tighten up the language, because it currently says CPI or 6%, whichever is greater.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. But it will be in the contract. It will be, but it won't go over 6%. It's gonna be CPI, up to 6% is what it's
Okay.
gonna be. It
that was my big concern. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. No, it will be, at CPI, whatever that is, but it won't exceed 6%. That's what we're going for.
And just for reference, CPI hovers last 3 years, it's been around 3%. It was really high during post-COVID when supply was low for everything, but it's been plus or minus 3% for.
So, I'm good with everything except for, if you look at the contract, all the dates in there from a long time ago. There's no up-to-date dates in there.
In the original contract that's in the online or?
No, the ones I got at home from when I worked there every year, you know, we bring that up. They're all old dates.
Okay, so
It refers back to old dates,
okay,
nothing new.
the only contract that is in our drive that should be noted is the, let me get up to the top of it.
It's only like 2 or 3 pages.
No, there's 8 pages.
No, I know it ain't many.
I have a
Is-
copy of it if you want.
Is the contract for student transportation services and what was the
Let me see
date?
yours.
It is 7 pages.
It is effective from July 1st, 21 to June 30th, 26. That's the only contract language that should be looked at, Jim. Cause that's our
And every
current,
year that we would
Yeah.
get a.
yeah, exactly, but that's our current one.
So I guess I would say I appreciate that our superintendent has done his homework and looked at what other companies are charging and that the starting point is good. I'm definitely comfortable with CPI, with a cap at 6%. That's an awesome protection for us. And my only other potential concern was 5-year contract is a long time. I do appreciate the commitment to 2 replacement buses, and I think in order for someone like Harlow's to commit to something like that, I think it is reasonable to expect a longer term contract.
Well, it is, but then 2 new buses, 'cause one bus is, last year was 75,000 with a trade-in, so you're talking $200,000. It is nice to offer 2 buses.
How many years was the last contract?
5 years.
It was 5 too. So that's
5
standard.
is kind
It's
of
average.
the industry standard, yeah.
So I'm happy to make a motion, but I would suggest that I'm comfortable with Mr. Ramsey pursuing due diligence towards what's being proposed, with developing a contract with Harlow's, noting the typo in regarding CPI. I would also request that district legal review this before, at, same time that it comes to the board for a final decision would be my thoughts on it.
We did send this over to Kelva, didn't we?
The proposal?
Yes.
Yes. I've not heard that.
Yeah, I would just like us to work with her
No,
to make sure that the end agreement that we're gonna put our signature on is, that she's had a chance to look at that.
And would this be coming to us next scheduled board meeting or the special meeting?
I can get to work on the contract this week, and I can have it fully drafted and back to you for review.
And then it can be put on the special board meeting.
Well, do we have a sense of urgency about this? Does Harlow's
Just-
have a need for?
The one urgency that I can see is the fact that Joel and I need to get together to determine routes and safe turnarounds, and that has to happen in June.
No.
June the
June is
30th, our
first
contract
vaccine.
with Harlow's ends, is June the 30th.
So if we did
Yes,
it May
let's-
27th and we had any issues with it, they'd still have time to do it. Because if they
Can't
did
we
it,
just
the-
vote on this and then make them fix that?
It might be nice to keep the special meeting as a nothing that we're
Nothing
voting on
else.
the agenda, to keep it really crystal clear that we're not making any decisions that night. Cause then the next meeting would be a week later or a week and a half later. So we would still
Yeah.
have 3+ weeks if there was any
if there was any
challenges.
issues. Okay.
Plus, if you guys develop it and can get it out to the board soon, then we can, all of us can let anyone know if we catch any red flags, but. That's just my thoughts, I don't know if other people have thoughts on it.
So, I just wanna make sure that I have everything right in my head here, for Francis as well. We do want to have the corrected verbiage, and then added to the existing verbiage within the contract. And we do want to have a sense of urgency on that, so that you guys can have time to present to legal counsel.
Yes.
And then we will seek signature at next board meeting. That sound correct?
Regular scheduled board
Regular,
meeting.
yep.
June the 8th, I believe.
Yeah,
So,
June,
June the
yeah.
8th, okay. Francis, did you catch that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And what I will do though, I will get that drafted so that you can read it and make sure that you're comfortable with that language. The language will be the same as it is in the current contract. I will change the CPI verbiage, the way the CPI verbiage is in the contract right now, to be what I intended it to be. And I'm going to open a document here real quick, just so I can read what it will look like once that's drafted. Because your contract did not have the correct verbiage as far as CPI goes. So I want to find one that does, so that I can read it to you. And it should be based, and it should say, read something like this. The CPI will be based on an April, a CPI rate of whatever the CPI is in April, and it reflects back on May. Like this year, it's going to reflect back to May 12th, and that's our April. April numbers get presented on May 12th. So at that point, we'll know what April are, and that's what we're going to run the CPI on for every year. So it'll increase by whatever the CPI is up to, but not exceeding 6% for that school year. So it'll take exactly what the CPI rate is, but only go up to 6% if it goes above. So you've got protection there. But I will get that drafted into it.
Appreciate it.
So Miss Sammy, would you like me to table this, or, because we're not taking any action on it tonight?
So the motion was just to open negotiations.
We still have to vote then.
And we won't vote till June. I think we close negotiations till we sign, right?
Right.
So I don't
So it'd be a
think there's
table.
anything to be,
It just remains open.
I think it just remains.
Okay.
I don't know.
Alright, nope, we'll go with it. It's just, as long as, we're not gonna get in trouble with this. Alright, moving on to item, item 12D, consider approval of the by-district transportation agreement between Knoxon School District and Thompson Falls District. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion that we consider the by-district transportation agreement between Knoxon School and Thompson Falls School.
Second.
I'm just giving everybody time. Now at this time, public discussion on this agenda item. If I can have you guys stand, state your name for the camera, please.
Yeah, hi, I'm Elizabeth Lloyd. So I'm a trustee on the Chalk Creek School Board. So I'm here representing the Chalk Creek School Board. And I just, I wanted to make a kind of a side comment a little bit. Just hearing your guys' discussion is really, it's really cool to see your guys' discussion and the community involvement, the desire there. I'm a Knoxon alumni myself, and so I have some roots here as well. And go way back and went to Trout Creek and came to Knoxon and have worked collaboratively throughout my whole family. My hope is to bring my children up in the same way of similar as well. So I have a letter here that I've written on behalf of the Trout Creek School Board that I'd just like to present to you, and then I have copies I can hand out for you guys to have as well.
Thank you.
So dear members of the Knoxon School Board, I'm writing to you today on behalf of the Trout Creek School Board to formally request a reopening and a renegotiation of our current tri-district bus agreement. Our goal is to expand existing routes and modify current policies to better serve the modern needs of our families and most importantly, our students. Our role as school boards of bordering districts is to represent the local community and taxpayers who frequent each other's boundaries, often utilizing shared space productively, cooperatively, and as a healthy joint community. Our responsibility is to make decisions that reflect community priorities, educational needs, and legal requirements while ensuring our public schools serve students effectively. A little bit of our history, right? We've had a lot of success with our past tri-district agreement. So in seeking this update, we are not proposing a radical departure from our roots, but rather a return to a model that has already stood the test of time. For many years, our three districts worked in close, seamless collaboration. During that era, our transportation and enrollment boundaries functioned as a unified system that served the entire west end of the county. This historical partnership worked exceptionally well for all families and students, fostering a sense of community that transcended district lines and ensured that no student in our community was disadvantaged by their specific rural location. Currently, our transportation policy largely dictates a student's educational path based on geographical proximity rather than parental choice. This nearest school mandate creates an unnecessary barrier for families who believe a different district better suits their child's specific academic, social, emotional, or developmental needs. We believe that tax-funded service should be as accessible and flexible as possible. At present, our families face a difficult ultimatum, either mandatory enrollment or logistical burden. The mandatory enrollment is to force them to accept the school that's closest to home, regardless of personal preference. Or if they don't want that school, they have a logistical burden. If a parent chooses a different district, they are forced to provide their own private transportation. This often requires parents to take time off work, incur significant fuel costs, or rely on the availability of extended family, options that are not sustainable for many working households. Our districts already boast a strong history of partnership. We successfully merge our resources for joint sports teams and athletic programs, shared adult education classes, community-wide extracurricular events. And if we can trust each other to share a court or field for sporting events or share a classroom for adult learning, we should extend that same spirit of cooperation to daily transportation for the children who are entrusted to our education and learning environment. By revisiting the collaborative spirit that once defined the west end of the county, we can honor the principle of school choice without placing undue financial or logistical tax on our parents. So the Trout Creek School Board is proposing a joint work session to review the tri-district agreement. We aim to identify neutral pickup zones, and I think this has been shared with you in the past, an updated tri-district agreement, or extended route overlaps that would allow a bus from either district to collect students whose parents have opted into that specific school system. Our families contribute their hard-earned tax dollars to these services. It is our responsibility to ensure those services provide the maximum possible benefit, autonomy, and support to the people we serve. We look forward to discussing how we can restore and modernize this agreement to put our students and families first.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Can I hold mine till a little bit later as things progress? No, okay.
No, sir, we do public comment,
No,
then
no
board
problem.
discussion. If I can have you stand
Sure.
and state your name for the
My name is
record.
Robert Johnson. I'm the clerk at Trout Creek School. My question deals with this this bi-district agreement. I'm asking, is it for high school students only?
I'm reading and I'll get you that answer, because I do not wanna state wrong. I want to say yes because, yes, sir.
Okay, so yes. How many students are currently being picked up that are elementary and middle school students in the Trout Creek School District this year by buses?
I don't have those numbers off the top of my head.
I don't have the route this way,
Okay. So, I know that there are some being picked up.
I think what I was told before is that if the bus is there, any kid can hop on it going to any school.
If it's an established stop
Yes,
on a
that I
bus
could put
route,
my
and we have high school
elementary.
students kids
Yes,
going, it's a family
established.
that also has elementary kids can get on the bus as well.
Yeah.
Oh, sir, do you have anything to say?
That's my understanding of statute is, parents can elect to have their child attend where they wish their child to go. If it's an established stop, the children can get on the bus.
This has other stops.
It is an
That are
established
approved.
stop.
It's approved though.
Yes. For the record, this is only, not as the board chair, but as a parent, and I live in the Trout Creek district, and my children go to Knoxon, and we are still out of district, because I have a high school student that lives right down the road from me, and the bus goes by, I can get on that bus, by law. Okay? I've also been told that as the board chair by our legal counsel. Now, because when my kids started elementary here, the school was very, very clear that if there was no high school student on that route, I would have to, if I chose to send my kids to Knoxon, I would have to go to an established stop. They would not run the route to come and pick up my kid.
Thank you.
If you went where?
If I chose to come to Knoxon and I did not have an established route that would go through.
Can we get a map of your established stops?
Right there. And all of our bus routes are been filed, and it's on our website and filed with the county commissioners.
Okay, and they show exactly where the high school students get on, right?
It shows our route, where our buses leave from our school,
But
goes
does it
all
show-
the way.
Does it show all the stops?
I don't think that is what the statute states that we have to have by law.
Well, actually, for privacy of information,
Exactly.
you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
And I think you would actually have to take that up.
He knows that.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
I don't know, I'd have to look into it, but it sounds from a safety perspective, yes.
Yeah.
But it does-
You can't like say.
Oh,
have
I
someone line this up so
understand.
kids get on.
It shows the school and the route that it takes. Now, it doesn't show how many houses, how many kids we stop along it, because I can,
The bus routes are public information.
Yep.
We're not going to put the actual stops so
Yeah.
that
I guess I have a question. So, coming in with collaborative nature in mind and working together as like bordering school districts. My question is directly, is there intention to like leave Trout Creek out by bypassing, like you literally have to go straight through Trout Creek to talk to Thompson Falls to have a by-district agreement, and you're overlapping in the Trout Creek School District, and so I just would like to hear from you guys.
I agree.
Is it an intentional leaving out of the Trout Creek School District? Because our hope is to work collaboratively with you guys and like just have a fair, like you guys, we want you to come into Trout Creek and have an elementary stop. We're asking, can we please have a Knoxon stop as well? And we're gonna ask Thompson the same thing. Going back to our roots, and my request was to have a work session meeting to talk about this, but I'm seeing in the agenda that there's by district language, which gives me indication that there's intentionality on that to leave Trout Creek out. And so just trying to hear directly, because we're here to work with you guys and find a fair stop so we can work together as a community. We have a small tight-knit community. And
I agree.
I love that your superintendent says he wants to bring in the community, right? And we're all about community as well, and developing the community and just building up the community. And so, is there intention to leave Trout Creek out?
Well, what's before us, I mean, is this by-district agreement. That's what's been presented to us. Of course, community is very important, you know, and as I'm sitting in this position, I'm coming into the middle of this thing. This has been a
I'll
long,
take my turn when it's time.
this has been an issue that's come up for many years, right? In trying to better understand the background and the history of the transportation agreements, I've reviewed a variety of materials and documentation that's been provided to me regarding prior discussions and agreements. I appreciate the effort that's gone into preserving that history and providing context. At the same time, my responsibility as superintendent is to approach this professionally and objectively with the best interest of Knoxon students and the district at the center of that discussion. My primary focus is ensuring that any agreement that we enter into is workable, is responsible, and supports the students' needs and safety. Student safety remains a top priority in all transportation-related decisions. My goal tonight is not to revisit the past conflicts, but to focus on the agreement before us and what is in Knoxon's best interest moving forward. What's before us is a transportation agreement between Knoxon School District and Thompson Falls School District focused on high school students. And I am recommending that the board approve the agreement as it's presented.
And to clear your answer, nobody here is leaving Trout Creek out. I have a big question, and myself was gonna go to a Trout Creek school board meeting to ask you guys this because I live and pay taxes in both districts. And my big question is the way that I have talked to legal is that if your bus route stops here in your district and you want to come here, you don't get full reimbursement, your taxpayers pay that. So as a taxpayer, why does any of my neighbors who don't have kids have to pay for one kid or 6 kids to get on that? Let's say it's 6 miles there, 6 miles back, that's 12 miles that you do not get full reimbursement. It goes to the taxpayers, and that's 180 days, so 12 miles every day, 5 days a week. That adds up. So I, as a taxpayer, have to pay that. But we have a school district. Now, if I, just like myself, as being a Trout Creek parent, and I send my kids to Knoxon, I would drive my kids to Knoxon because I made that choice, not my neighbor. I did. So I am not closing the door to listening to anything, but that is my big concern as a taxpayer in 2 districts, is because you guys are asking me as a taxpayer to pay that difference. So I don't understand that.
So who's paying the Thompson to come all the way to the Trout Creek store? Cause of, what is that, 2.3 extra miles there and back morning and night?
That is,
Just as a point of order, are we still in public discussion here?
yes, sorry.
So I was actually here in Knoxon, back in 2015, when Dee Haskins actually asked me to go to the county, can't remember which county meeting it was, where they kind of discussed this exact same thing. The transportation committee meeting. What it was determined at that time, again, this is, forgive me, if my memory fails me at all, but this was 10 years ago. The problem historically was districts claiming reimbursement for the miles that they were going into other districts. Like that was the issue. And then like Amber was saying, if you have to privately pay for that, then that comes directly out of your local taxpayers. So the issue wasn't necessarily having a bus at like the Knoxon Bridge or anything like that. It was more that then again, it's all by memory, but the issue was that they were claiming reimbursement from OPI at that time. And even though the county transportation committee approved it, it didn't, there was a regulation about you can go into another school's district, specifically for a safe turnaround. And that was about the only exception for being able to claim mileage in another district. So I think that was back in, like I said, that was a while ago, but I remember that being the hot point.
Okay, I'm going, any further public comments?
I'm Vanessa Palster, and I'm the supervising teacher at Truck Creek. And my introduction to doing this was the transportation meeting. And at that meeting, I was kind of spoken over and proved, real quick before anybody could talk about anything. And so I left that just kind of, that was weird, and even asking them the two superintendents to have a discussion, at least just helped me understand what this all was. Immediate no's in emails, so I like where Beth was trying to go, even if it's a nice community discussion about it, but it does feel like we're excluding Trout Creek, we're gonna do this agreement, that's that, so,
It's a board discussion.
I think well, that's a can of worms. Whatever we're doing for Thompson, we need to, it can't be,
Amen.
it can't be
So,
prejudice for one and not the other. So we either do it or we don't do it. Thompson stays out.
if we're gonna give Thompson 2.5 miles in and out, then we need to give that to Trout Creek.
Or make
It's-
everybody stay at the logistics
Or go back to
places.
your districts, because I've pulled, and I have all the documents, and I've been trying to speak on this for years, cause I went to the Trout Creek School and I used that bus, and that's when this all got fired up, so I know it better than anybody.
I don't like it because I'm a Trout Creek taxpayer.
2004 is I went to the courthouse, and that is the first tri-district agreement, which they are our community. She went to school here and there. I agree 100%. I took notes on this. I fought this battle for 5 years, and that agreement, and in 2022 it was signed again by our supers here, there.
Well,
And
then
I
we
haven't-
should just stop it and make everybody stay in their area if nobody likes it.
So there is a distinction between Trout Creek and Thompson, whereby for our high school district, and I believe the high school and elementary district, if the more Trout Creek and Knox and routes overlap, the more tax burden we're putting on the same taxpayers. Whereas the folks, the property owners paying those taxes that are in Thompson Falls district, that's separate. Whether it's right or wrong and how much increase it costs is another thing, but there is a slight difference there. But before we talk about the three districts and how to handle the whole ball of wax, I wanna understand the nature of what's in front of us, because at one point I was under the assumption that this was not for picking up students from a neighboring district and bringing them here. It was simply that we needed a safe place to turn buses around, so we had to extend the route into the neighbor's district,
It's catch-22.
get to a safe place to turn around and come back. Because I do also worry if we were just looking at this purely from the taxpayer's interest and minimizing costs, we would not want those overlaps. And one challenge is, once you do this, as you pointed out, and you have a high school kid, you establish precedent when you establish a route. Next thing, we've got a program that one district is stealing kids from another district. Now, we are tiny, we do wanna help people. There are things that are probably common sense where it would be nice. So I think the way this is written, I'm not very comfortable with, because there's no clarity on
Well, and
functionally what this means. There's even number 3, no waiver. And if anyone can interpret this for me, you're smarter than me. But this agreement does not constitute a waiver by either district of the authority to preserve the right to grant or withdraw permission from any other district to enter transportation service areas. Way too many strings of thought there. I can't even interpret what that means legally.
And why does it say we can go to White Pine if we're never intended on going to White Pine?
I think that was just their
Just to
way
make
of,
it look good?
yeah, It's
Give
just
us
their
more
their
room.
language
See,
to add
that's
in
kind
there.
of another.
So-
But we don't go to White
We don't.
Pine
I know.
because we're not gonna do that to our taxpayers.
I don't know why
so
we
it's a
would
whole
put that
nother-
in there then. Why
We're,
even be in
we're,
That was our turnaround. I'm
Okay.
just pointing that out.
okay, but
That's the only reason.
not to be rude or to offend anybody, we're done with public comment. If you do have any questions after, like, hearing the discussions, please feel free to email Mr. Ramsey, myself, Mr. Oldenburg, anybody on the board, and just let us know, and then we'll get those answers to you guys.
So I believe number 3 means that we would still be able to enter into an agreement with Trout Creek.
I think that's how it's supposed to be
But-
interpreted, but I don't like you.
I would reword it if that's what it is intended to mean. But again, the term in this, I'm not comfortable. It's not clear. Don't understand what exactly it means. So I wouldn't be comfortable signing this.
No, it is pretty confusing.
I have a question. To be taken away from all the burdens in our tri-district agreements. I do know, and Mr. Havens, I'm gonna do something that I'm probably not supposed to, but you and me both witnessed the unsafe turnaround for Thompson. Thank you. And if I wouldn't have lost all my pictures and videos, I could have actually showed the board the unsafe that I did witness myself.
I witnessed it too.
But that to me, and Miss Hammy also brought me a great point home is the way the highway, our plowing services are on the highway versus county. It's all different. The state, does Highway 200 and the county has to get to the side roads. Because my philosophy has always been that if we all stay in our own little districts, then we all are being peaceful to our other districts. Nobody's stepping on nobody's toes, nobody's burdening the taxpayers, because we know that we have had countless meetings of them asking us to be very on point with that. So, why can't Thompson Falls go to White Pine and turn around there? One is that has been brought to my attention
The
is
fire barn
how-
cemetery.
yes, but how they plow it, which I don't know. I'm
Fire
not.
departments are
Legally bound.
to plow 4 inch or 4 inch, we plow 4 above.
But the turnaround where they could, if my memory is correct, and I just went by there today, the fire, like to turn into the fire department doesn't go all the way to the cemetery. So the fire department might be able to plow the 4 inches right there, but that's not necessarily gonna go to the cemetery, so the bus could come in and do this. So that's my only thing is like safety is number one. We've had parents come knocking on our doors asking us, please enter this agreement because my kids are unsafe getting on this bus, help us out, do this.
Yes.
So we've heard that. So, but my question is there something?
Go look again, because they did add on to that Trout Creek department, and
They gotta turn fire trucks around.
They do have to make improvements to the parking lot now because they added another bay.
Well, me personally,
But I gotta go look.
who would who would Thompson Falls get in touch with trying to make sure that that gets plowed for a safe turnaround?
There's 3 chiefs in Trout Creek.
I mean, that's my question is because then everybody stays in their district, everybody plays nice with each district, we all do what our community needs us to do. I don't know. That's just my philosophy. Because then if Trout Creek has kids that they have their district and they stay in theirs, we stay in ours, they stay in theirs, we all three play nice.
Well, actually, I think playing nice would be going back to what our small town communities have had for 30, 40 years. That's the great thing about living here, and all these new people come in and they want to change it.
I disagree. And I only disagree as a taxpayer, because if the law says that our transportation is not funded and it ends up on my doorstep, then I do have a question about that.
So can we just like back up and look at your picture for a second with I don't really I don't believe the language in here is clear enough to, so you negotiated this, so I think you understand it really well. Was the intention to allow us to go across district lines to pick up out of district students to bring back, or was it simply to cross district lines to have essentially a turnaround spot, but also a stop where the way I thought I understood it was, it's easier for a White Pine parent to drop their kids at the local store. Man, I can't remember, but basically the way I thought I understood it was this was about only moving in district kids, not about stealing, so to speak.
No, it's about
out of
moving
district.
in district kids.
So with this agreement, the intention is not for out of district kids to get on these extended routes.
So if it's an elementary student in Trout Creek and there is a high school stop there, and the parents want the student to come to Knoxon, they're able to get on the bus and come to Knoxon.
Yes. It's just like we have parents out Blue Slide, we have parents that we don't have a high school bus.
Right.
They're in our district, but
If there were a St. Thompson student whose parents decided they wanted that student to come to Knoxon, there is the ability then to go and
To the
pick that
wayside.
student up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
they drive
No.
their kids to our bus route, our established bus route.
We are not currently doing that.
Well, I'm curious why it's even in there for White Pine if we're not doing it, and Amber said we're not planning on doing it.
No, because we would have to go to Knoxon's taxpayers and ask them
Well,
to.
the other thing, if White Pine isn't safe, it wouldn't be in this document too.
That's not true. Because the South Hill turnaround
South Hill
was
isn't in it.
established in
Oh.
Thompson Falls bus routes, and that is clearly 100% not safe.
Oh.
White Pine
No.
is a burden on the parents getting to White Pine where they can just walk from town and hop the bus to Thompson.
But I'm just saying,
I know, and I'm
that
the
language,
opposition.
you can clearly not go by that because the county commissioners did approve that South Hill bus route, and it is 100% unsafe.
I wouldn't turn around my truck there.
I think that goes to Eric's point then, that the language in there now isn't something that I can really approve as is. Is there a way we could, I don't know, have it reworked?
Adjust the language,
Yeah.
table the motion. And
Well,
adjust the language.
That's my thought, because depending on what the intent is, I think then it begs the question of whether everybody needs to sit down and talk through. If this is not about moving out of district kids at all, then really I think we're just acting under the law because of our two districts, a bus is going there anyway, right? So whether elementary, high school kid jumps on, it's a kind of a different thing than extending beyond that.
And could we extend it to Trout Creek too for the same amount of miles we're giving it to Thompson?
I think that's
Or-
something that we can't
or is-
really answer at this point in time. We,
Get that? I just really have a tough time trying to understand what people are hoping to accomplish with this.
Me personally,
No, I know. The one, can I say one thing?
No, sorry, I'm sorry. To me, I don't think that just me personally, and I'm just one of 9 of us, I don't think we need a transportation agreement. We are not going outside our district lines, and I don't wanna sound ugly, but as having our taxpayers come to us and ask us, I don't think that, we need it. We are not going inside their district, we are staying inside our district. Do I want them to have a safer bus route to turn around? Absolutely. I personally have went and asked the commissioners. That's all I can do. And I really hope that the commissioners and Thompson Falls can come up with a safer route on their bus routes. They have that ability, and I wish them luck.
So is there
That's
kids
my
down at
opinion.
that end, or can't they just go by, what is that, Little Beaver or something, that big huge parking lot? And
I cannot
It's a
tell
terrible
you.
parking lot.
I honestly cannot tell you
Better than
Thompson
the
Falls'
Garden
bus route. I've never rode their buses. I've never followed one of their buses. I don't have any kids that go to Thompson Falls, so I'm not sure. But I just know personally, I've seen the South Hill one be very dangerous. I took it upon myself to go to the commissioners, ask them, hey, I don't think this is safe. You guys have ultimate, like we give you guys our bus routes, you guys approval. If it is unsafe, that's the line of defense. The parents can go to Thompson Falls and say this is unsafe, let's do something, let's do better. That's what I'm asking. My opinion is I don't want this tri-district. I don't want a tri-district and I don't want a bi-district. I don't like this contract that we have in front of us, and me personally, would like either bring something that's worthwhile for Knoxon, because this isn't, and as a taxpayer and the two counties, or two districts, I think we all should just stay in our own lanes. That's my opinion. I'm one of 9, the rest, I'm open to ears to find out what we do moving forward.
I'd like to table it. I'm not comfortable getting rid of it. I'm not comfortable saying yes to it.
Okay.
I honestly don't feel like I know enough about this particular issue.
Okay, so table. Okay.
Well,
Kyra?
as opposed to just tabling, I wonder if we establish a mechanism to move something forward, like a subcommittee or a committee or something
I
like
don't know
that.
what we can do, because I know it takes 9 of us to be something. I know that we can have a committee, but I don't know what Trout Creek would be interested in, or Thompson Falls, and I do know that our bus routes get approved by our superintendent, so therefore they would have to be a part of those talks, I would think, I would assume. We could table and send this off to legal and ask for their advice. I have 2 tables on the table, so.
Well,
No, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just, before we table it and move
Mhm.
on, I'd
Yeah,
just
no.
like to contemplate a path forward as
Okay.
opposed to just tabling it and not having any,
Okay,
you know what I mean?
no, absolutely.
I mean, I'd be more than willing to be a part of some sort of committee to move this thing in a more clear
I would
direction.
too.
Okay.
But I do agree with sending it off to legal to find out what we can and can't do before just agreeing to form a committee.
So I think
Or, and I would ask Mr. Ramsey too, if he has a recommendation. In the past, the superintendents have come up with a plan together, or failed to come up with a plan together, and brought those to their respective boards. Is that how it's been done?
That's how it's been done. So, I'm fine if you wanna table it, put together a subcommittee to better understand the issue, and then bring it back to the board for a vote.
I just advise that we get a clarification from legal to make sure what our parameters in that.
With the
Since
subcommittee.
we're, since we're doing 3 districts, and definitely having the superintendents of all of those be present would be my recommendation on that part. But that's just me and my 7 years of experience in the board. I would
Do
like
we
to know.
have a drop dead date for having routes established?
We have to have
July.
routes established by June, so this has to happen quickly. I can tell you that I do not believe that Thompson Falls will agree to enter into a tri-district agreement.
But that's okay, we can put out the olive branch and go from there.
well,
No, that's all we can do, cause we cannot
Yeah.
speak on Thompson Falls'
No.
behalf.
it's just this was all fine and dandy until the 2 superintendents started trying to say who I don't know. It's
Not
just
you.
Let's do what we can try and do as the board we are now and the superintendent we have now.
Okay, so.
There is a time constraint because we do have to have our routes established.
By June.
By June,
Well, I want,
by
like
the
I,
meeting,
like I
would
said
be
earlier, I
June
wanna
8th.
bring the routes June 8th
Okay.
to the
And then
June
he
8th.
has to have them to the county, and by July, they approve them by July.
Okay.
Jim, what's your opinion on?
Can I ask her a question?
Absolutely.
Do you know when you're due the transportation meeting yet?
It's very flexible, we can make it late July or early August, we need more time.
And before we close this,
Oh, I wasn't closing, I was just
Oh.
trying to go around the table to make sure I got all of our on record, voice on record. Jim?
I think we should wait and let the legal counsel look at this, cause it is pretty scary even to me.
Okay.
I can figure some things
You
out.
wanna table it and you're okay with the committee being formed with legal direction?
well, I don't know if a committee is the right thing. I was
But
just
no,
throwing
that's
an
what I would.
example out there.
No, I'm just asking him what, because we have two ladies that said table and committee
I'd
formed.
still like to
With
be part of
legal,
it though.
with legal. And that's what I'm asking Jim, because that's what we have on the
If you're
table,
gonna
so I
have
was.
just a little committee, but I wanna be part of it. I'm a taxpayer. So,
Yeah, can we ask for questions or no?
Yes, but I'm trying to get the board where we're going as the board discussion, and then yes, Ms. Kyra, you're free to ask Ms. Elise any questions that, because we have her on.
There's a lot of history here and maybe mixed motivations that I'm not currently privy to, and I wanna understand that better before I, recommend anything other than tabling.
Okay. I agree with Will. Table's fine.
Likewise.
Just table, you three want just table, and then,
I'm not necessarily opposed to a subcommittee, I don't know what's prudent based on the
Okay.
situation.
Okay.
So we would have to figure that out and then go from there, recognizing there's a time constraint.
yes. Now, Ms. Kyra, you can ask your question.
So when it comes down to the tax money, is there any way to figure out how much extra? Like, can you, like, Jim had showed me his taxes, like so much for high school, so much for elementary, like if it's an extra dollar or so with the old tri-district agreement that we were using?
That is something I have zero
Okay. I was just
experience
using-
with, and transportation on your taxes is a whole big thing that comes from OPI. I don't even know,
Okay.
I'd have to do some research with OPI to understand how do you break that down into the tri-district agreement and the mileage that's on this TR1 versus this TR1. And from that,
Yeah,
parse out what is taxpayer. That's analysis I've never looked at before, so it would have to be done.
thank you.
Sure.
But I think what we could, with the two transportation agreements, we could look at what the extended routes cost, based on
The boundary lines and,
Well,
yeah, cause that's per mile, so I mean,
Yeah.
that would be something.
you know,
that
we
could
don't wanna go
calculate.
anywhere else, so I feel like if we let Thompson come in 2 miles, we could let Trout Creek come in 2 miles.
you guys don't have nothing to lose because you live over here.
Mhm.
We live in Trout Creek, we got something to lose. Extended
Tax
mile.
wise, sure,
Yeah.
but we also
Look at my
care.
taxes.
Okay, but we also
compared
care
to
about the
yours.
kids.
Yeah, I do too, but look at my
Well,
taxes, I
and
got
we
no
could,
kids.
we could cut budget on a lot more things I see here too, other than getting the kids to school. It's like,
I'm already paying almost $3,000 a year in
I
taxes.
know,
Oof.
and, but it's gonna add like $1 if you're
Well, look
lucky,
what they
and
are
I
right
know it
now.
Let's
adds
look
up.
it up first before we get all hot and heavy over the numbers.
Stay on topic.
okay, the topic at hand is how would we like, all of us do not feel comfortable voting tonight, that is 100%. What is on the table now is how we move forward.
I mean, I would also be comfortable with the superintendent furthering discussions on this if that was something you were comfortable with, but I think for me, you need to really understand I don't understand what the goal of this agreement is, what is the intention, let alone whether or not the terms of the agreement are gonna serve that, and then also how Trout Creek plays in. Because
So-
I think depending on, I'll just leave it at that. But I think we could consult legal on appropriate ways to move this forward, whether a committee would serve that, whether it needs to be done through the superintendents. I think we should just consult on that and try and identify a path forward that,
I'd rather do that than us pinpointing something and having to go back on it or not be able to do anything with the committee.
Okay, so what I propose is in the next 2 days, I will give myself 48 hours to talk to Mrs. Kaleva or her office and get recommendations on what she recommends for us to do moving forward. If that is a committee, what are our parameters, what it is, and I will send out a whole board email, and then we'll go from there. And you guys can, if need to take action on it, then Eric, you can do that on the 27th.
I think we should just do it on the June meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be okay.
And possibly, have they ever had it where all 3 school boards get together and discuss?
That's what I will
I
send
just want
out
that to be one of
an
your
email for
questions.
all of you guys, and I'll tag the full board with legal in it so that you guys know exactly how she responds to
There
me.
should be a process for inter-district negotiations.
And there probably is, I don't know, I just know that in the 7 years I've been on the board, I don't think we've ever had to cross that bridge, so I don't know how to handle it per se.
Kyra, I appreciate how much research you did. I would like, I don't know, in an official capacity, I would like an understanding of the precedent. here,
Yeah,
'cause I think
and I
that's an
feel like
important piece of it
I have a
as we
lot,
move
but
forward.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
you're
you're saying you'd like to understand what was in the tri-district agreement?
Yeah, and just what is leading up to this, why, yeah, I just,
So can
context
I
here.
guess you can ask, I guess I could give you guys a copy of all my,
I guess just as we're moving forward, I think that information and, objectively would be very
yeah,
helpful.
and that's, it's, I have all the way from when it started to the timeline of how it rolled out with basically, it's so frustrating, with basically superintendents arguing and doing away with something we had for over 30 years
Okay,
and leaving them out, and so
sure.
I'm sticking to my either all or none.
Yeah, I just
I
think
do-
understanding all
yeah.
of that history, this is all.
So I think ask Leva if I can give
But we
everybody.
No, you
understand
can,
our
you
position.
absolutely
Well,
can.
I
There's
understand
more
that.
information that the board has, that's fine.
So I can make copies and get it.
But if we all just stay our own little district, then it's all of it.
Okay, so to keep us on point, Miss Tammy, can you take a hand raised vote on that we're tabling this pending legal advice?
Okay, motion is
Thank
taken
you.
by consensus.
Moving on to now I've done lost my place. Item 12E, consider approval of SJBR custodian contract for school years 26-27 and 27-28.
I make a motion to consider approval of SJBR custodial services for this year and the continuing next year.
I second.
No, 26-27 is next year and the year
26,
after.
27, 28.
26, 27,
I
27,
second.
28.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so who
So-
made that motion?
Miss Annie did.
Thank you, Miss Annie.
Sorry,
second it.
that was a mouthful.
Okay, public discussion. Mr. Ramsey, the floor is yours, and then we'll do discussion.
Okay, so, SJBR, they've done a good job this year. They've been dependable and responsive. So I will be recommending approval of their proposal. The proposal is for the next 2 school years, 26, 27, 27, 28. And they are also requesting an optional third, which will be written into the eventual contract.
Just for clarification, we are approving 26-27, 27-28, and if she decides to go for a third year, she will bring it back
There
to
is
us.
there is an option.
removed that part, sorry. You did, that was the third.
Okay. I just wanted a clarification for the record. Thank you. Okay, now this board discussion.
I agree with Mr. Ramsey's assessment. Knock on wood, have not gotten sick from my children this year, and I think it's because the doorknobs are real clean, so.
Love you, Annie.
I probably will.
Glad you respond well.
So, sorry, is
Nope,
this,
you're
is this only a 2% increase over last year's contract?
Yes.
Yes.
That's pretty outstanding if you ask me, and everything I know is that the work has been fantastic. I'm happy.
Any further discussions? Miss Hammy, can we do a voice roll call vote?
Absolutely. Trustee Bass?
Aye.
Trustee Bosker?
Yes.
Trustee Byler?
Aye.
Trustee Manning?
Yes.
Board Chair Miskowitz?
Aye.
Vice Chair Oldenburg?
Aye.
Trustee Ramsey?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you.
Moving on to agenda item 12F. Consider approval of Study Sync ELA
Curriculum.
Thank you. Grades 6 through 12. If I can get all my words out. Now, I do want you guys to know the policies. If you guys seen that on my script, there's quite a bit of policies that this goes in for. So, can we get a motion?
I make a motion to consider approval of Study Sync ELA curriculum grades 6 through 12.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Public discussion? Or Mr. Ramsey?
Okay. First is Courtney back there.
No.
No, sir.
Okay.
You're on your own.
She was supposed to be here for part of it. So I am recommending for board approval the Study Sync English Language Arts curriculum for grades 6 through 12. I kind of want to briefly go over the curriculum adoption process that we go through to arrive at this recommendation. The process begins with researching English Language Arts curriculum options aligned with Montana state standards and our district instructional goals. As part of that research, we used Ed Reports, which is an independent nonprofit organization that reviews instructional materials for alignment with academic standards, instructional quality, and usability. Ed Reports provides educators and districts with detailed evidence-based reviews of curriculum resources. And so through that initial process, we narrowed down those 4 options. We narrowed down to 4 options of curriculum programs. From there, we utilized curriculum adoption rubrics provided by OPI that are aligned to Montana standards and instructional goals. Those rubrics provide a consistent, standardized system for evaluating and scoring the curriculum options. And based on that process, Study Sync emerged as the strongest overall option. I do want to note that for grades 9 and 10, our plan is to use the year 9 Study Sync curriculum for both grades 9 and 10 in the upcoming school year, and then use grade 10 Study Sync for both 9 and 10, grades 9 and 10 for the following school year. So the reason for that approach is that the Montana standards for grades 9 and 10 are exactly the same. The primary difference between the courses then would be what content is being taught. So the plan would be grade 9 and 10 both go through the same content of both go through the same grade 9 content next year because their standards are the same. Flip it to grade 10 next year, the following year, okay? So by having both grades work within the same year of the curriculum and alternating that content the following year, we can reduce the teacher's planning demands and allow for a stronger instructional focus on effective teaching strategies, standards alignment, and student learning. It also ensures that students still receive exposure to both sets of contents over a 2-year cycle. And I had asked Courtney Voss to come in here tonight because she was very involved in the process of choosing Study Sync. And her role in the presentation was going to be to present some more details about Study Sync. I helped to oversee the process of the curriculum adoption, but I was not in the trenches of figuring it out and looking at it. But it did score high on the OPI rubrics, higher than my perspectives that we're currently using. We do believe that it's going to be effective for our students in grades 6 through 12, and especially with 6th graders next year, as they are going to be having a 2-period block of English of ELA. It's a good opportunity to giving them effective curriculum.
Board discussion. Any questions for Mr. Ramsey at this time?
This is an interesting invoice that does not have line item, has a quantity but not a line item cost.
It's all paid out of the Montana Reads grant.
Oh, no, I'm talking about what this costs,
About the,
or not invoice, but,
Well, that's kind of an
Quote.
invoice, isn't it? Oh, no, I think.
oh, I see, it almost
It's a
seems
quote.
like,
so it doesn't tell you the cost of each component.
Oh,
No,
okay,
no.
cause I was gonna say, wait, I have a,
Just gives you a grand total. So how does this compare to what we're paying now for the equivalent or curriculum to meet the same need?
how does this compare to the cost of the, My Perspectives?
Yes.
About this, it's the same.
so,
This is a, so this is a contract of 26 to 33. Is this an annual cost or this is the cost over that period?
These are consumables. This, so your like your teacher materials, that's a one-time cost for those, and then any consumables that are used here that are replaced would be a lower cost than this.
So
Yeah.
Go
past,
ahead.
past curriculum and like My Perspectives is, okay, you pay for a 5-year subscription, and that's basically what this is. This is for 5 years. Which includes the initial teacher cost stuff and the consumables for each year. And then each year you tell them, okay, I'm gonna have X amount of kids in class. They send you those consumable, workbooks, whatnot, and it's part of this contracted amount. You don't then pay for each workbook individually. Once your contract is up, and ours is up with My Perspectives, then you pay for every consumable book that you order for each year.
Yeah, so like for 6th grade, the consumable writing companion set, they put the quantity of 105. And then for, yeah, the teachers is a quantity of 1, but then quantity of 30 for grade 9 reading and writing companion set.
And that's because the following year we would do the grade 10 companions.
so our contract with our current curriculum is up.
Yes.
So
It has
we're
been
either
for
going.
We were gonna get
To do,
a new perspective, or My Perspectives, a new edition, or go with Study Sync.
Should
So
you
you're
do
gonna,
this as-
we were gonna have to do something anyway.
So
Cause
do you,
the new edition is out and they're hard to find the old one.
do you think that the study sync is the way to go?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I do.
And we believe it's a
Better.
comparable
It's
cost for
yeah,
students, or however you
it's-
quantify it.
you looked at it quite a bit.
Yeah, ours.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion, any further questions? Okay, Miss Hammy, can we do a voice vote?
Absolutely. Trustee Bass?
Aye.
Trustee Bosker?
Yes.
Trustee Byler? Trustee Manning?
I
Board Chair Miskowitz?
Aye.
Vice Chair Oldenburg?
Aye.
Trustee Ramsey?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Moving on to item 12G, consider approval of non-tenure teachers. On the superintendent's recommendation, this action is brought forward to in accordance with district personnel policy and Montana law governing teacher contracts and employment. Would we like to group these two together?
I don't think we should.
Okay, so can I get a motion for item 12G 1, Ms. Caitlin Purdy.
I make a motion to consider approval of non-tenured teacher, Miss Caitlin Purdy.
Can I get a second?
A second?
Public discussion?
She's great.
Superintendent.
Caitlin does a great job in PE, and I recommend her for renewal.
Board discussion or board questions? Okay, Miss Tammy, can I get a voice vote, please?
Trustee Bass?
Aye.
Trustee Bosker?
Yes.
Trustee Byler? Trustee Manning? Vice Chair Miskowitz?
Aye.
Board Chair Miskowitz, Vice Chair Oldenburg?
Aye.
And Trustee Ramsey?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, can I get an approval, or,
Motion.
yes, thank you. Motion for 12G2, Madison Rutherford.
I make a motion to consider approval of Madison Rutherford.
I said it wrong. Can I get a
Need
second?
a second?
Second. Is it Rutherford? How do you-
Rutherford.
Rutherford?
Rutherford.
Okay.
Did I say it right?
Was the second by you, Mr. Oldenburg?
Yes.
Thank you.
Public discussion? Superintendent.
Madison Rutherford is doing a great job. She's really gotten into the professional development we're doing at Montana Reads, and I recommend her for renewal.
Could you just explain to the board the certification? I know there's been confusion on that in the past, and I know you've got it down pat.
Madison is provisional certified. Okay, so she has a provisional certification, which makes her a fully certified teacher for 3 years. Okay, so at the end of that, within that 3 years, she needs to go and get a continuing certification, the Class 5 certification, and she has that. This has been the first year of her provisional time. It's not a certification that requires any kind of posting of the job. As far as the state of Montana is concerned, she's a fully certified teacher.
So she's going to school to just keep.
Right, she's got the 3 years in order to get to the full certification. It's different than what it was when she was an emergency certified person.
So that's what she was at
An
first.
emergency certified person, that job has to get posted every year. If no qualified applicants come, then we can offer her the job again, which occurred for the first time, for several years she was here. In that time, she's gotten the provisional, so she's now considered fully certified in the state of Montana. And then she's got a time limit in order to get the Class 5 certification.
And is she pursuing Class 5?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. I just heard confusion on that. I wanted to make sure it was stated.
Any further discussions? Miss Tammy, can we do a voice vote, please?
Trustee Bass?
Aye.
Trustee Bosker?
Yes.
Trustee Byler?
Aye.
Trustee Manning?
Aye.
Board Chair Miskowitz?
Aye.
Vice Chair Oldenburg?
Aye.
Trustee Ramsey?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to item 12H, consider approval of the Fisher Technology contract renewal.
I make a motion to consider approval of Fisher's Technology contract renewal.
Can I get a- Public discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Just ask how they work and what they do for you guys?
Yes, ma'am. He is up right now, so Mr. Ramsey will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is our copy machines. We run through a contract with them. We need a lot of copy. We need a copy machine for sure. And what the Fishers will do is they do the maintenance, and we have a maintenance service agreement with them. They come in and service the machines and provide replacement parts and whatnot. So Tammy worked a lot on this.
So we lease them or do we own them or rent them?
We lease them. There's a couple of copy machines we have in the building that we do own. Thanks.
I'm trying.
So
I don't
there's
know if
a-
I'm winning, but I'm
so-
trying.
$380 lease fee, and then we pay per copy.
Yes.
Beyond that, and
Yes.
it's
Miss Tammy, would you like to put your input on the copiers?
Absolutely. So the lease, regardless of whether we go with Canon or Konicas, is we lease the machine, but that does include all consumables, toners, whatnot. So we just send off the thing saying we're getting low on black toner, yellow toner, whatever. They send us the cartridges. That is part of our monthly fee. But then there is a per copy fee as well. Both Konica and Canon machines that we got quotes for, same price per copy. Konica, the monthly lease is quite a bit less, $300 and some versus the $400 and some. The Konica machines that we do own, that we bought, I believe, at least 10 years ago. The one in my office is still working very well.
It's amazing.
And it is very amazing. It's actually faster than the Canon. It's still putting out better quality. So as far as whether we look at going with the Canon or the Konicas, I would definitely recommend the Konica as far as the quality of the machine, the quality of the copies, and it is a lower lease. And our representative, Cortland at Fisher's, reaches out to all the different copy machine companies that provide these services and get bids for the different types of machines and give us that information. So that's why we have bids for Canons and also, and it's not a bid, I shouldn't have, it's quotes.
Yes, ma'am.
so the 63-month lease at $378. $378 is the monthly cost.
Is the
Yes, sir.
monthly cost. That service, that's the toners, and that is the use of the machine. And once the machines are then of, their life expectancy has ran its course, then that's when you redo your lease. Generally, it is around a 5-year, technology changes that fast, these machines wear out. Like I said, we have bought them in the past, we got lucky. But other ones we've bought in the past, it's a much higher purchase price. Even 10 years ago, it's like $15,000 per copy machine. Then you still have to pay somebody
When it breaks.
to come and work on them when they break. And trying to haul off and dispose of an item that big becomes an issue.
Yeah, I think the service
So the lease
fee
is
what
definitely the way to
gonna
go.
kill us if we- yeah.
Konicas are great machines. It is a more cost efficient option.
And this is comparable to what past agreement was.
Yes.
Any further discussions? Do we need to tell you which one we wanna go with?
When we make, well, we did make the motion, so
Yes, ma'am.
we can just, I will note that,
Why don't we amend the motion to go with the recommendation of the Comica,
of
just
the
so that you
Konica
have
machines.
clarity.
Okay,
Who made the motion?
Annie did.
Annie, can you please amend it to, and are we all in favor of going with the Konica? Yes.
I amend my motion
I wear one out every couple of months.
Can I
To
say
specify,
to specify that we go with,
Comica.
I almost said the gas station. Contact.
instead of Conoco.
I hope that's not what our printers take.
Oh, goodness.
Might be more expensive though.
Any further
Okay.
discussions? Okay, Miss Tammy, can we do a voice vote, please?
Trustee Bass,
Aye?
trustee Bosker,
Yes.
trustee Byler,
Aye.
trustee Manning,
Aye.
Chair Miskowitz,
Aye.
Vice Chair Oldenburg,
Aye.
trustee Ramsey.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you, I will contact them.
Moving on to item 12I, consider approval of out-of-state travel. This next item is under new business, approval of out-of-state item is properly noticed as an action item. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to consider approval of out-of-state travel.
A second. Public discussion. Mr. Ramsey.
This is for out-of-state travel for the 4th and 5th grade classes to do a field trip to the Flying Squirrel Trampoline Park in Spokane. At the beginning of the year, when we had the 4 or 5 combined, Mrs. Shaw had a grand idea of going to the Capitol, and they did a small bit of fundraising, and then pivoted instead to going to the Flying Squirrel Trampoline Park. They have a bit of fundraising yet to do in order to make that happen, but one of the first steps is to get the approval to go out of state.
Is that the only one this time?
That's the only out of state travel that I'm
Okay.
aware of, right? Or was it another one that snuck in just this afternoon?
Now, liability wise, what's that look like? I know you have to sign a waiver for them. Does that make the school not responsible if they get hurt and the parents sign that waiver? Cause I know every time I go there, I have to sign something.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I've
Do we have
never
to do
been
it
there.
ahead of time?
You literally have to do it ahead of time, or you have to stand at that dumb computer and do
The
it.
kiosk and
And
do it.
do a waiver.
Yeah, so would that,
So is
Take-
there a separate field trip waiver and the business itself has a waiver?
Yeah.
I know we've had school groups go to trampoline parks before.
I know at the Flying Squirrel in Spokane, you can get on there online and sign the waiver. Cause I had to do it for my girlfriend to take the kids to the Flying Squirrel. She couldn't do it. I had to.
that I'm like cool that the parents would be able to do that. I'm sure that we could even send a form home, but my thought process is, does that take away the school's
I
liability
don't know that.
if my kid hurts her ankle on this trip? Is the school liable for that? Or because the parent signed the paper, am I no longer, that,
That's a question for him.
That's a question, yeah.
sorry.
And
That's a
I
good
don't know
question.
the answer to that.
Okay, and that's my only drawback,
Right.
is I had heard about the possibility of this, and that's the first thing that went through my mind is great for, my kid, but
Right.
also as a school.
As a school, do we,
Do we consume that responsibility?
Because that's, like,
Trampoline parks are number 1, 2.
I mean, I
Not
got
be
hurt
so
the last
safe.
time I went to one, like, it's not
So we
safe.
could, one thing we could do is approve the out-of-state travel pending Mr. Ramsey's liability consultation,
I like that.
or evaluation.
Yes, I like that.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Okay, will you please amend your motion?
Could I please amend my motion again for out-of-state travel? And instead make a motion to approve it pending Mr. Ramsey's investigation on the liability for parents in the school.
Okay,
Everybody in agreement? Further discussion?
and what should the liability, should the waivers not, cover the school liability
I
ones?
think
What happens to the motion?
that if the parent signs it, the school should not be liable if their kid gets hurt.
Well, yeah, so I think you make that determination working with Via. If you determine that that the school does not have adequate coverage and we can't get it through, then you have out-of-state field trip approved where
They can go to
the hatchery,
triple
or
play
they
or
can go
something.
to
Then go to
something else.
an alternate location out of state.
Yes.
Do you know if
Within the same radius, how about that?
That's great.
Within the same-
Yes, within the
with-
Is there
same.
no
Well,
waiver for
within-
go-karts?
The same city limits.
See,
Okay.
at triple
Little
play,
fish
you
hatchery.
pick a package and go-karts can be excluded,
And then there's no waiver.
and then there's no
Okay.
waiver. Yeah, there are certain things at triple play that you.
That's how it's gotten
yeah.
circulated.
Yes, sir.
So can't really.
And the only
send
reason why I know
maternity
that
leave
is
for-
a birthday party.
Yeah.
You wanna write it?
Okay, Miss Tammy, can we do a voice vote, please?
Trustee Bass,
Aye.
trustee Bosper,
Yes.
trustee Weiler,
Aye.
trustee Manning,
Aye.
board chair Miskowitz,
Aye.
vice chair Obenberg,
Aye.
and trustee Ramsey.
Aye.
Motion carries. Linda was attending the
I need a moment of everybody's time before I let you guys go. Considering I have to write an email to legal department, I would like to clarify what we would like on the, transportation. I wanted to say try, but it's not it. So, can you guys give me,
I would like to confer with legal what scope of ability we have to
Can-
even do anything about this, as far as if we could do a committee or if Mr. Ramsey is the one that facilitates that.
Yeah, what legal mechanisms are available or what standard practices are out there for multi-district agreements?
anything else?
What all do you have so far?
Well, I have a lot, but
Oh.
I haven't narrowed it down.
I was thinking, I don't know how easy this would be, but I made you a note I was gonna give you later. If there would be any way we could talk to the county and do, kinda like, a school board election, the one time they just put it on paper. I don't know how hard that is, Thompson, Knoxon, Trout Creek, Heron, and vote, do you wanna try or not? And then it can be done and over with and the people speak. If
Oh,
we,
like a ballot issue.
like a ballot, but how we pay for like
I
the school
don't-
board,
I don't know anything about.
I know, I don't
how-
either, I'm gonna
So
investigate.
I was
It's an
gonna
interesting
say,
idea.
And all three schools could pay, like how we pay for our school board election, we could get all three schools to pay, and then the people could speak.
and the taxpayers would have a say in the matter.
Exactly.
Okay, so, not only our lawyers should be involved, but you should also ask the election office.
That's what I was gonna make some calls, because I just feel like
Okay.
we're gonna keep going, we should try to get a final something with this.
Yeah.
If we can't move forward with this and work for a try, then
Okay, so I will get an email out and like I said, I will tag the full board. It will be, for information only, so, and it'll be in our, school web, or email. So there will be a record of it, and I will tag Miss Kaliva in it, and then she will respond to all of us, and then we'll go forward from there. Okay, everybody have my cell phone number, because I will be out for 14 days, but I will be with my cell phone at all times. Okay, can I please get a motion to adjourn?
I make the motion to adjourn.
I second that one.
Thank you.